pew, pew.
We are back.
It's been a minute.
It's been so long since we last put a video out.
It kind of feels like we never ever did it.
I looked on our YouTube today. It was 3 weeks ago. That's really bad behaviour from us.
We've been busy.
We've been so busy. So I think we need to tell everyone why we've not been on YouTube and catch them up basically and tell them everything that's happened.
Why? Why didn't we film?
Why didn't we film?
I died.
It was an accumulation of things. We had our last demo that we did. We were planning to upload a YouTube video for every horse, and we got one up, didn't we, of you and Belinsky. And then there was one ready to go of you and Ernie.
We were so organised. We'd
edited it ready to go, and I accidentally deleted it and basically lost all the files for it, and that got us a bit down in the dumps, because obviously when you sit and put a lot of time into, you know, creating the videos and editing them, to then not have them anymore is really sad. And then life just got in the way. We've been so busy, and I think we just lost our mojo. Like, once you've we were doing like every Wednesday and Sunday we would post a video, and I think once we fell out of that routine and videos weren't going up, it just kept going and going, and then eventually we were like, we couldn't even think of picking up the camera because it was just not in our routine anymore, because you really have to create a habit of it, don't you, to do it. But so much has gone on since our last video. Ernesto has gone.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell them a bit about...
Ernie's left us. He didn't sell, and so his owners have swapped another horse in for him. So he's gone back to his owners, and we've got a young horse in now called Junior.
Yeah, so he's a 3-year-old.
So they've just done a swapsy for us to sell him. He seems really, really nice. We'll probably do a video on him like soonish, won't we?
Yeah.
Just whizzing around the school being a 3-year-old, but he's a really, really nice horse, and he's very exciting to have in. Who else has gone? Uno's gone back to his owner.
Oh yeah,
we never got to do an update on him. He was supposed to come for a couple of months, but he just progressed so quickly, and
the
after like 1 month,
take him,
Sarah, his owner, came and rode him and was like, oh, well, I feel really confident with him to ride him. So, you know, and that was that. He didn't need to stay any longer, and so we went home, and I assume it's all going well. I haven't actually heard from her since, but I'm sure it is going well. I will check in.
Yeah, Henry did actually post a video on his Instagram of like him just before he left, going really well. So if you want to kind of see the before and after, that's on your Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, we did have intentions of filming an update of him before he left, but he went sooner than we were expecting him to go. So that just didn't work out, as in timeline wise. Same with Ernesto. We wanted to film a goodbye with him, didn't we? Because he's been with us for quite a while, and we've had some really special moments with him, haven't we?
Yeah, it was a really fun time with him. It's always sad when they go, but you know, like it is part of the business, and as a professional you do have to kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But he was a really fun little horse, and somebody will buy him at some point and have just an amazing time with him, I'm sure.
Yeah. If for anyone that watched the Nationals vlog, Pee-wee's gone.
Yeah.
The big giant.
He only came for a year. We always knew he was coming for a year. His owners are based in Switzerland, so he did his year, and he's gone back, and they're having lots of fun with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a real changing of the guard. Like at home now, we've had...
we've got 6 in, haven't we?
We've got 6 in still. We've got, we've got obviously brought Bonbon back in, and then we've got Junior, and then we've got the old crew that never really changed. Belinsky and Babs and Fireball and Hector.
Yeah. We should probably give like a quick little Bonbon update for people that will want to know about her.
Yeah.
She's going well, isn't she?
Going really well, yeah.
We're taking it easy still, but she's, as in like not pushing her with her work, you know, she's just doing walk, trot, canter around the school. But she's going really well.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know who Bonbon is a mare that I bought back for Indy for her birthday. She's a mare that I'd ridden up until she was 6, who's really, really talented, very hot, but she's been up and had a foal. And we brought her back in with the intentions of you producing her and competing her for the future.
Yeah, so that's where with her. We will eventually get around to making a video with her. She's just not quite ready yet, is she?
She's real, well, we've said it before, she's really hot. And
she's very twitchy.
At the minute, we're sharing the ride, aren't we? So
we're tag teaming her at the minute, just because
she still needs a bit of confidence giving, and you do too, whilst you get to know her.
Yeah, she's not a relaxing ride, to put it bluntly. She doesn't. I'm not relaxed when I'm on her. We've obviously got the wedding coming up, and I think that's what's made us so busy.
That's taken up a lot of time, hasn't it? Just like this we've been so chilled about the wedding, but in the run up to this last month, or last 2 months really,
it's getting
hectic.
Much
stuff coming in, and it's like one thing after another, constant bills, so we're like, you know, oddly enough, having to work quite hard.
So strange.
Come to work for a living, I mean, God.
It's I think the most difficult thing about it for us is, for any of you that obviously have horses, you know that it's not easy to just come away from them. Obviously we're so lucky that we've got Ernie, our groom, who helps us out, but our wedding venue, where we're getting married, is up north. It's in the Cheshire area, because that's where my family's from, and then your parents are North Wales, aren't they? So close. And all our appointments are then up north. So I've got my hair colourist, he's up north. My wedding dress, where I got it from, and my seamstress are up north. Your wedding suit is up north.
Yeah.
Your barber's now up north, which is crazy. And
the wedding bands.
And the wedding bands, the florist. So we've kind of done everything where it's in the area of the venue.
We've really done everything asked about tit. We've done everything at everyone else's convenience, rather than doing everyone coming to us.
We've really made things difficult for ourselves, and we're really feeling it, because we're spending a lot of time oops, I keep hitting the mic, sorry. We're spending a lot of time on the road, going up north and back, and it's taking it out of us at this point, isn't it? We've kind of had to...
Well, any days or anything that you would normally have as like downtime, a bit of downtime, we just haven't had any.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, in between times, the horses need working, and the teaching needs doing, and the yard needs doing always, and then anytime you get a minute free, it's like, well, we've got to go and do
wedding duties,
Well, not. I mean, it sounds like we're moaning. We're not. We're dead excited.
We're so excited, but life is lifing right now.
Yeah,
it's a lot, and as well as that, I'm trying to get my points for the regionals with Raisin and Babs for the elementary, and we've really left that to the last minute, haven't we? We said let's do it in the last month.
Last minute's not that.
We've got a wedding. We're non-stop with the horses, and why not try and qualify 2 horses for the regionals?
Yeah.
So that is where we're at. So that is why
you have done 2 elementaries.
Yeah,
with
someone.
Both, your first ones, haven't you?
Yeah, I actually put up a story today asking if anyone had any questions, since we've been so far away, and someone did actually ask me, tell us more about your elementary debut. How did it feel? How did you deal with hiccups like bucks? So Babs, little Miss Perfect, her crown slipped on that day. The first test she was amazing, and the second test she just couldn't hold herself together, and we rodeoed in our medium canter. That was so embarrassing, because so many people saw it. But yeah, so to answer that question, my elementary debut, I kind of went into it not really feeling prepared, but I was just like, you know, you just have to give these things a go. I think once upon a time I would have been like, it's not perfect, I'm not doing it. But I think because I enjoyed my first experience at the Nationals so much, it gave me the bug to want to keep going out and trying. So we made that decision that I'm just going to go for it, and even if it wasn't perfect, you know, if I can at least just get around the test, I'm happy with that. So
just that kind of shows how far you've come, like as a competitor as well, because obviously when you first started you hadn't really done any competing.
yeah,
Every competition had a lot of pressure behind it, and
Yeah.
like you needed it to be perfect. But the great thing about competing a lot more
Yeah.
is suddenly that there's a lot more weight on each show, and so like if anyone is nervous or whatever, you know, finds competing a big deal, that really the best way is like the baptism of fire, like you've done, and you've just done show after show this
Yeah,
year.
I think for me, like what happened when I first started out competing, I only had Babs to compete at the time, and we had a really strong start, and I think that was actually a burden rather than a good thing for me, because every time I competed, I had this expectation of myself of that I have to win, because I've won everything so far, and I have to get above 70% because that's what I've done. And that was putting so much pressure and stress on myself that the day that actually didn't happen, where I didn't win and I didn't get over 70%, it was really hard. But I think the more that happened, as in that I wasn't doing as well as I started, as in like just getting those unrealistic expectations of myself, it took the pressure off, because it's like, okay, you're not going to go out and smash it every single time, and that's absolutely fine. Relax, just enjoy it. And so now when I compete, I can actually enjoy it, and at first I really couldn't, could I?
No, you're like, why do people
Don't get me wrong, I still want to, you know, I still want to do a really good job, and I'm going to aim to try and win or to try and get a really good score. But the fact that the pressure's been taken off, that I haven't won every single class and I haven't got above 70%, it's really like helped me to just relax and enjoy it more.
I remember after your third show, it was about your third show, you like looked at me on the way home, like, do people actually enjoy this?
Yeah, I used to find it so horrible. I mean, the nerves beforehand, especially if I had to go into a test where I couldn't have a caller, that was a big deal for me. And then if it didn't go well or I didn't get the result I wanted, my whole world would come crashing down, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But now I just look at how my horse is going, and I think that's something you've taught me to do. Not every judge is going to love you and your horse on the day, and your horse isn't always going to play ball on the day, and that's what Babs showed me.
But in all seriousness, though, with Babs, like at Solihull, she had a bronc. Which is on socials if you go and have
She
a look,
was bronc. Let me just tell you about that horse. She was bronking the whole warm up, and I was like, "This is fine though, because you're going to get it out your system, and I'll go in my test, and it'll be gone." And the first test she did, I was so happy with her. She felt the best she's ever felt. There was energy. There was impulsion. Like she was travelling, and I basically just had to hold on. That's how goey she was. Yeah. And that's not usually Babs in a test, so I was loving it. I was just like cruising around my test, and she did a really nice first test. We got just under 69%, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I was really happy with that. We came first place in our silver section and then second place overall, so that was a great start, and I had high hopes for my second test because of that, even though it was the harder one. It was the elementary 6. She was quiet as a mouse in the warm-up, so I'm like, you know, we've got this. She felt great in my test again. She was going, and then just that medium canter, I don't know what happened, but she
I think the thing is with her, like in the past in the test, you've always suffered with her dropping behind your leg.
Yeah.
So she'd go in and her nerves would go that way, like where she would come in on you and go slower and just really like be a bit shell-shocked. You could see, it's like almost like she's come to this show like a different horse after the Nationals. So
Yeah.
it's like full of confidence, full of herself.
She was like, I know what I need to do.
She was showing off, and like in that elementary 6, before she exploded, she was getting better and better, and the work looked amazing.
Yeah.
But with Babs, she's still at the point when she starts to really show off. There's a very close limit to like her showing off really nicely or going wee.
Yeah.
And she just couldn't hold it in, could she?
She couldn't hold it in.
But that's so much better for you. Like, well, it's not better for your marks, but it's so much better as a rider, isn't it? Like when you have that feeling.
Yeah.
Than carrying them around and like them not really enjoying
exactly.
it.
And that's what I used to have with her, of not enjoying my test because I was having to work so hard. So I was so happy with her that I just had this great feeling going around my test, and that she was carrying me rather than me carrying her. So that question asked, how I deal with bugs. On hindsight,
try not to fall off.
I have my but on hindsight, I have my lovely trainer here / fiance who loves to tell me what I've done wrong. And when we watched the video back, and if you saw it on my story, so she did her rodeo down the long side in the medium canter, and because of that I then missed my give and retake the rein over A. And what had happened, because it's my first time ever dealing with something like that, I didn't really think about what I was doing, and I trotted, and then she wouldn't pick up the canter, so I had to do a 20-metre circle, a circle back round to pick up canter again, to then do my give and retake.
So because she bronked, and then you were kind of like, oh my gosh, she bronked.
I was too busy laughing.
She was over there, she was laughing, she was trotting around. It's like you've got to get back to where you were. And then continue so your next movement isn't spoiled. But what happened is you kind of missed 2 movements and then represented, which obviously is like super expensive, because if you represent a movement, as in you come around to it again, I think they have to give you a 0 or something, or at least an error, of course, if they're being nice to you. Yeah. So like what was one mistake is then 2.
So I got 61%, and it's my lowest score to this day. But I don't care, because she was great. And the people that saw the test before that, or the clip that I shared online, everyone said how amazing it was going before that blip. And that's all we can be happy with. All our horses are feeling really good. They've all been clipped, so they're a bit fresh. It's her first time out competing since the Nationals.
It snowed today.
It snowed today.
It's Christmas, and we've got our Christmas tree out.
And speaking of, I've made the consecutive decision that I'm
Consecutive or executive?
I don't know. Whichever one sounds smartical.
Executively decide that. What do you decide?
Is it executive?
Well, yeah, the executive decision, that's like, the boss. I think it's the boss. Consecutive's like one after the other.
Whatever. I've made the decision that we're going to do vlogmas, just to kind of pick up the habit of...
What the vlog is that?
To pick up the habit of vlogging again. So for those of you who don't know, vlogmas is basically in the month of December, YouTubers, I think once upon a time, I don't know if people still do it now, but they used to put a YouTube video out every single day. We're not going to be able to do that, because the content's going to be so repetitive, because our day is literally the same every day. So I'm going to maybe try, because we were doing 2 videos before, I'm going to maybe try and aim for 3 videos a week. I think that's a fair number. And it's Christmas-based content, so that's what I'm going to do.
We'll just basically put a Santa hat on and do what we normally do.
Probably. There will probably be like a dip around the wedding, but we are having the wedding vlogged. We've got a videographer who, as well as making like the special wedding video for us that we'll keep, we've asked him to actually go behind the scenes of the day, so that we can actually share that with you all, as I think that would be really fun and special for us to have as a keepsake. So we've got that to look forward to in December. Should I answer a few more of the questions? How many times do you practice a test before a show? I'm really bad for this. I find out I'm competing, and then I probably won't run through my test until a day before the show, and then flap that it didn't go well. but
and I'm even worse. I
I'm
probably
more,
never do. But
yeah, I'm kind of more interested in my horse's way of going at the minute than my test riding, and some people might disagree with that, but for me, if my horse's way of going is good, then it's easier for me to get round a test, and so I don't feel like I want to keep hammering going through the test at home, because sometimes that doesn't actually make my horse feel good.
No, I mean, the thing is, we are probably guilty, if we hold our hands up, of not doing enough test riding, and it is something, it's a skill in itself that needs practicing. But I find sometimes, like, the more test riding you do, the less your horse improves. So, like, winter for me is always a time for training, and like in this period now, yes, we are competing because your horses are young and they still need to go out and gain experience, as do you. But like, our main priority for the winter time is actually to go up a level. Yeah. Or to, you know, to progress. Anyway.
Get them changes.
So, yeah, there's always so much to do, because our end goal isn't, you know, the levels that any of our horses are at, apart from Fireball, who is at Grand Prix. The other horses, we're all trying to get to Grand Prix, and like, we're not, our end goal isn't whatever level they're at, so we don't waste too much time doing test riding. But what happens is, through the season, like when we get busy with the competing, actually the little shows are your chance to do your test riding, aren't they? Yeah. I mean, we do practice, like when we practice test riding at home, more than doing like a whole test, we'll just do movements. 3 or 4 of the movements. Like we do that quite a bit, where we'll pick like 3 movements that follow each other in a test, and we'll kind of repeat that so that you get the feel of the test without repeating the whole test. Because I think if you do that too much, actually the horses start to learn the test, and that can then throw in a load of problems in itself, because they start to anticipate and take over. Yeah, and that's I forgot I didn't actually say how I did with Raisin. That is what happened with my elementary test with Raisin. I mean, she's an incredibly smart horse, and she is at home, she is wherever you take her, and obviously I'd done the test the day before, I ran through it with her, and in the elementary you have to halt at C in front of the judge, show a bit of immobility before you do your rein back, and she was 10 steps ahead of me. I halted and she knew what was coming and rein backed without me even asking her, which was really fun for me, because I was like, this is easy. But I didn't ask for it, and obviously didn't show the immobility, so then that was expensive. So in the most amazing trot to rein back that you've ever seen. Yeah. It was like, yeah, so that is something that I have to be careful with her at home, like not test riding too much, because she will start doing things for me. But yeah, she was good, wasn't she? Yeah. When we did do our test riding with Pam, I found that so useful, just riding a frigging 20-metre circle. The things she told me that I'd have never thought about before, because I'm so new to it all, has really helped, and now it's the first thing I think of when riding a 20-metre circle in my test or at home. So, boobed your mic off. I really recommend it. Let me clip myself back on. Ooh. Yeah, so really recommend test riding if you want to practice and get better at your test, and we definitely need to take our own advice. What's 3 pieces of advice you would give to young dressage riders? My number 1, and this is actually not something I did, but it's one of my biggest regrets, I think, probably, because I think I'd be further ahead than I am if I'd done it. My number 1 would be to base yourself with a professional that has lots of horses. So the biggest thing, if you want to be a good or a great rider, is you need to spend a lot of time in the saddle. That, you know, priority number 1, ride a lot, but you know, that's only as good as the eyes that are watching you. So, you know, find a professional, base yourself with them, and be a sponge, and don't try to jump ahead of where you're at. You know, I think that's kind of personally what I did. I was successful as a young rider, and probably, you know, looking back, a little overconfident with my own ability, and also I was, you know, very eager to be earning a living, and you know when you go and work for a professional, you're going to be working for nothing, long hours, not getting paid much, and I thought I knew more than I did, and I could earn more money, and I definitely earned more money doing that. But it's taken me longer to get where I've gotten, and I've had to kind of build my reputation over years and my knowledge to train Grand Prix horses, which I probably could have learned quicker in the right hands. But yeah, that's number one. Number two is, wow, what would you say?
Advice. Don't overhorse yourself.
No.
You know, I think you're only as good as the horse that you can actually ride. I think, especially today with social media and everything, you know, you're flooded with horses that move incredibly and look incredibly, whether they're young horses or Grand Prix horses. And I think people think that they need a horse that moves like that and has got the best breeding in order for them to do well. And if you're not at that level to be able to ride a horse that moves like that because you're young or new, or because the horse is too big for you, it doesn't work. And I just think, you know, go for the horse that you can train on your own, that, you know, you don't need help every single day. It has to be fun for you, and so you have to enjoy riding the horse that you feel safe on. So that would be
I suppose the thing is, that's great. If you want to be a professional, though, I think actually you've got to ride any horse you can.
Yeah.
Like, within reason. Don't put yourself in danger, obviously, but really, like, when you're a young professional, you've got to take on the horses that other people don't necessarily want to ride, that don't look amazing or might be difficult, and then show your worth. Like, ride that horse, make that horse special, make it as good as it can be. You know, like, learn how to train the horses that other people can't train, and then you'll always have a job. Yeah. You know, because at the end of the day, if you want to be a professional dressage rider, you've got to make a living from it, and it's bloody hard to make a living, isn't it? You
don't just get sent a nice string of horses every single time.
So learn your trade, learn to ride anything, and then also learn, you know, it's one thing being able to ride horses and do horses, but actually working out how to deal with people is equally as important. You need to learn to assess what each client wants from you and wants from their horse, because not all clients want the same thing. And you have to remember, at the end of the day, if someone else is paying the bills, it's not about what you want, it's about what they want. And hopefully, you know, in time you'll find clients that have the same goal as you, and you can kind of make that work. But that's something that comes later on. Initially, the best client is a happy client, so work with what they're actually asking you to do, whether it be sell the horse or produce the horse for them. If that's what they're asking you to do, that's what you've got to do. Yeah.
What would your third tip be?
I think that was like 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Get a good trainer. Oh my God, how did I not think of that? Get a good trainer, and one that's invest. No, do you know what? Because when she sent this answer in, that was my first thing to say. Get a good trainer, and I just, get a good trainer that you're near to, so that you can see them as frequently as possible. Obviously, I know it's expensive, so you're going to want to account for that. But you need help. Obviously, I'm at a real advantage because he's in the school with me every day. He might not necessarily be teaching me every day, but he's got his eyes on me. But you need eyes on the ground, someone to tell you what you're not doing right or what you are doing right, and just help you and your horse progress, because I think progress is so much quicker when you've got help, someone that's invested in you especially.
I think that's the thing. I think when you're looking for a trainer, you have to be really honest with what you want with yourself. Like, you know, if you want someone to just massage your ego, it doesn't matter who you go to. If you don't, you know, like when you're training, if you really want to progress, you need a trainer that's invested in you, that wants to go there with you. Not necessarily have to be the biggest name in the room, but someone that actually cares about you progressing. And also cares enough to not make every ride. Not every ride has to be pleasant, or for you coming away feeling like you've actually achieved what you set out to achieve. Because a lot of things when you are training aren't achievable in one session, and sometimes you might have to take things apart. And it might feel worse before it feels better, and you've got to put your trust in someone enough to allow them to do that if you want to see real results, because sometimes you have to make it a whole heap worse. You have to take the stabilizers off and let it fall apart before you can then rebuild. But the important thing with that is that consistency, like you said. You know, you need to see someone regularly, and someone that's invested. Exactly those things.
And just make sure that whoever is your teacher, that you enjoy having lessons with them. Like Henry said, not every ride goes the way you want it to, and not every ride feels good. But if you know that the person teaching you knows what they're doing and has all the best intentions and is maybe pulling it apart to make it better, you just have to trust them. But as long as you like your instructor and they're not making you feel like a bad rider or like you're coming away and just really not enjoying riding, you don't want that. You want to come away and feel like, you know, maybe that wasn't the best ride that I've had, but my horse has learnt something today, or I've learnt something today, and that's enough. And then you've just got to be consistent, I think. There's no, you know, Henry has clients that show up every week, and they're the ones that make the biggest progress, because he's able to see the horse and, you know, keep an eye on it and where it's going wrong and where it's not going wrong.
I'm a lot braver as a trainer with people I see regularly for that very reason. I'm willing to take a risk and try and progress more, because I know that if we reach a point of kind of confusion where the horse doesn't understand, that I'm going to be there for that person to help them get through that and to help the horse get through that. The last thing I want to do as a trainer is open a can of worms for someone if I'm not going to see them for a month, and that they're going to then have an issue that they don't know how to guide themselves through. And the other thing is, I think as a trainer, like I'm always want people to progress as quickly as they can, as well as they can. And sometimes that can lead me to, like, I might push people out of their comfort zone, and then they start feeling negative towards themselves. The only way I know that is if they talk. You know what I mean? And that's something like that conversation's ongoing with us all the time, isn't it? Like, because I want Indy to be perfect and I help her a lot, I sometimes start riding the horse for her, so I'm barking instructions way too quick, and you're like, well, I can't
and then
cope.
I cry.
Well, but you know, and like, it's not because I'm trying to have a go or anything, but I just want the best for her. But you know, the best thing that if you feel like that from your trainer is to actually just hold your hands up and go, look, I'm really sorry, like, this pace I can't work at. I feel like I can't do it, and or ask, you know, sometimes you have to. There are moments in riding where you have to just do as you're told and not think about it. But if you're unsure about it, ask the question at the end of the session. Stop and talk to your trainer about it, because like, if your trainer's, you know, like, can stand tall and you know, stand behind what he's doing or she's doing, they're not going to be afraid of your questions, and they're certainly, like, I will never take offence if you ask me a question at the end of the lesson, like, why did we do that? Because I will have, if I know what I'm doing, I have a good reason for why we were doing it.
Good answer, baby.
She's always surprised. Wow, you sound like
you do know what you're doing. That's actually just reminded me. I know obviously we have an audience from kind of all over the world at the minute, like with YouTube.
So big.
We're viral. We're viral right now. But we have a demo coming up at our yard in Oxfordshire on the 30th of November.
Book your flights.
Book your flights. Or for anyone that is local to us that hasn't booked their tickets yet, I think we've got 20 people coming so far, which is a nice little turnout, isn't it?
We can't have, like, you know, all the thousands of you. I'm really sorry, we can't have you all.
Yeah.
But we've got room for a few more because
We've got
we're
room
limited
for
with parking and
yeah, we've got room for a few more, but we're doing a demo again. It's our second demo because our last one was such a success. But we're going to basically be showing how we train our horses throughout the winter. There's going to be dressage, mulled wine, mince pies. The gallery in the indoors is going to be all Christmas-ified with all the decorations. So it's going to be really nice.
It's going to be decorised.
It's going to be really nice and Christmassy. We will have that filmed, so obviously that will go out as part of our vlogmas. So that's something to look forward to. But if you are in the area and you haven't booked tickets, please do, because we want to see you all
And how do they
before
book
the
tickets?
wedding. Ooh, me. Message me.
Boswell Dressage.
Yeah, Boswell Dressage, or comment below and I can give you my email address or something and we can talk like that. But yeah, and if there's anything you guys want to see in vlogmas, in like any particular content, please let us know, because I'll be struggling to think of things for 3 days a week. But I think that kind of is our little catch up. I think we've caught everyone up on everything.
I'll do some tutorials on how to cook great Christmas food.
Yeah, because he's such a good cook, so we can maybe
Better cook than a trainer, apparently.
No. You're a better motivational speaker.
Am I? Go forward and thrive.
Yeah, but I think that is everything that we can catch you up on. Am I missing something? I'm not pregnant yet.
How'd you get pregnant?
I don't know.
As if I sneeze on you.
No, I think you like put it in here.
What?
Your finger.
Are you pregarised yet?
That's not going in.
Oh.
But yeah, that is our update. We hope to see you. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because you eargasmed.
I didn't do that. That is our update. We've missed you, haven't we?
And we're back.
We're back, and we're back stronger because you now get to, well, from December you'll get to see 3 videos a week. We'll try and do 2 videos a week leading up to then. But if not, at least 1 a week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're feeling very festive over here. We've got our Christmas tree up, ready for Vlogmas.
We've been eating soups and winter foods, haven't we?
Yeah.
Cooked Yorkshire puddings. I'm starving.
You're gonna cook
I'm just thinking about food.
Yeah, I'm eating
Gluten-free.
gluten-free, dairy-free, fun-free, coffee-free. But I feel amazing. So
I've had 6 coffees, 3 cups.
yeah, I'm gonna look great on my wedding day. But yeah, we will see you guys very soon.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye, poo poo. Bye. Mwah. Go say bye to the people. Oh my god, my legs. Bye.